Okay, so we talked about some stuff on the On My Block podcast this week about, kind of what we're seeing from our standpoint. One of the biggest things was Jameis Winston used his legs to get some crucial plays in this game, especially early on. The confidence that gives the offensive line, the confidence that gives the entire offense, and Jameis Winston, of course, but also what it does from a Packers perspective. There's two things that really kind of show up here. One, if they had a pass rush plan early on, they did get some effective plays at getting to Winston, but he broke contain. He got first downs or he got rid of the ball, and it ended up turning into points. Okay, so that's one. And then two, as we continue through this, as it always happens when the games get out of hand, all of a sudden, like if you had a pass rush plan, it no longer is working out the way you wanted, so we don't stick with it. So I wanted to show you a couple instances here that demonstrate what I'm talking about. So the first one is the 1st and 10 play here. Now, obviously, keep pass, but again, no one's expecting James to run. He's showing that he can. This is a different look for their team. We got first big one here, 2nd and 5, opening drive. We run a TT game. TT is tackle game. On the inside, get what we want. Kenny Clark's free, doesn't wrap, first down, and more. And that's just a big play. Why is that such a big play? Because we could have gotten back here at the 50 at worst. And you're not going to get a quarterback dead to rights more than you're going to have that situation right there. So those are big plays in the game, especially early on. It changes the demeanor of the offensive line for the Saints if you're sacking the quarterback early in the game. Here's another one, 2nd and 6. Now, Preston Smith beats this right tackle who's supposed to be all that. But, again, can we – if 91 can just wrap up here instead of going at the hip, puts him down. He's not out of field goal range. But the play call is different on the next play. Again, you're giving up. So now we have two situations where we probably could have had sacks. And it just changes the demeanor of both sides of the line of scrimmage. So important. Okay, we're not going to harp on this all day. This was surprising to me. So first off, Davenport playing stand-up is a difficult block for anybody. Mercedes Lewis is one of the best blocking tight ends in the game. But Mercedes Lewis is better out of a 3-point stance than he is out of a 2-point stance because he doesn't weigh that much. He's not an offensive tackle. So here, when you go inside and you start to just basically cut off the play. What I mean by that is, look at Mercedes Lewis's first steps. He's going inside. Aaron Jones is coming to the left side of the line, left side of the center. And now we've squeezed off that play, in part because we're not getting any movement at the double team. So very, very little movement on the double team blocks. Davenport's pressing that. Jones bounces. And again, these things matter in the context of, especially with a young offensive line, you're trying to build momentum and confidence. Okay, this was a huge part of the game. We talked about the trench warfare, the battle in the trenches, battle in the box players. Watch Demario Davis, one of the best linebackers in the game. Watch this. Absolutely no bite. Absolutely zero bite on the run game. Okay, this is kind of a theme of the day. Now, the keep pass is a huge play for Green Bay. Why does this happen? Watch the offensive line come off the ball. That is not how they play football. Those are not the initial footwork of their team when they're actually trying to run the ball. Their hips do not go to the sideline. This is a kind of an old school thing. At some point, these defensive coordinators or defensive line coaches have figured out, hey, if they're taking this drop step and turning their hips to the sideline, it's a keep pass, guys. Right? Whether they're doing it by formation or doing it by technique, it's a keep pass. Demario Davis isn't fooled even a little bit. And this comes up later on when he gives up the first sack of the game for the Saints. That's a big play right there, right? Because they've said those plays are not going to work today. 3rd and 8. Again, you could have had a first down. You're 3rd and 8. Now you got to throw the ball away. How do you get beat? Get beat inside with a simple game. Tackle games you think are generally easy. Now, when you line up the nose tackle on the center and you keep 92 outside, so we have to kick wide. So Patrick's got to kick a little bit wider, bigger A gap for the nose tackle. You see where the problems lie because you're isolating a player, right? You're isolating a player who also has to snap the ball and is a rookie and so on and so on, right? Probably don't have this problem last year. Probably don't have this problem in 3 weeks from now, but today it is a problem. All right, so we got the second drive of the game for the Saints. They've already gotten a first down. They're moving the ball effectively. Here's what happens. These guys are all professionals. However, this is a backup player. He is not where he's supposed to be. When you get long drives, you have to start subbing players because defensive players get tired. And good teams identify when your subs come in. And you take advantage of it because your offensive linemen now have a distinct advantage. A good first-team offensive line has a distinct advantage from a second-team player. This is another big play in the game. I know it's early, but again, think about how everything builds on one another, how you set the tone for your team, what it does to the other side of the ball. Now, both of their tackles are reputable guys. This is a mismatch to me. I think number 52 on Gary. I think Gary's a mismatch for any right tackle damn near in the league. Maybe Conklin, maybe that's it. He does a great job of pressing, but Jameis eludes him, right? Now, I want you to watch this. When I talk about what you want your defensive outside linebacker to do, defensive end to do, on a guy like Winston against players who turn their hips to the sidelines like their tackles do, you want to get up to the quarterback's depth, and you want to press with a stiff arm or two arms. You want to press in the pocket. Because once you get parallel or once you get at the same level, your tackles have turned their hips completely and it's easy to bull them. That is the detriment of the way that they set, is they're very easy to bull in. In other words, I could run up and push them towards the center of where you snap the football, where the quarterback is. I can push them very easily because of the way their feet are and the way their hips are. We do a good job here at 52. Gary does a great job. Press in right here, but because he doesn't extend his arm, show it one more time. Because he doesn't extend right here, extend your arm. Extend your arm and you can snap off and make this play, right? And now Jameis, who we don't think of as an elusive guy, breaks contain, gets the first down, lowers his head, makes a big play, and everyone's loving him, right? And this, of course, as we know, turns out to be a touchdown drive, and it's not going to be 10-0. Okay, so it's 10-0. It's our second drive. And again, we want to talk demeanor football, okay? We're in a far right formation, meaning the fullback is lined up away from the tight end, right? We have twin set to up top. We have Mercedes Lewis in, meaning more likely a run than if like Tanya was in, for example. This is an advantageous position for our offensive line because we're matched up here, we're matched up here. Safety's down, but we're not too concerned with it, right? And they're really just playing four-man line. You got two backers, right? Excuse me. You have three backers. But we got a backer out on the wing. So there's areas to run over here because Mercedes Lewis is such a good blocker. Now, I want you to just watch the fullback and Just understand, is the demeanor one that is here to wreck shop? Watch Mercedes Lewis. Great job taking on their best player. Pulling guard, Patrick takes out one, although that guy gets a little bit, he should have gotten a little earlier. Here, are we catching up? Are we running full speed or are we straight up and down? And what happens? Our running back runs out of room, right? This could be a bigger play. This could be a bigger play. We can't measure in the hole. Cannot measure in the hole. Again, it's just about demeanor. It's a little bit about demeanor here. Great job backside. Okay, we talked about it earlier. Green Bay is motion offense, is bunch offense, is forcing man coverage players to switch offense. They are huge on keep pass. Aaron Rodgers might be the best bootleg quarterback in the league, not named Mahomes. So, when you're in this formation, you run a keep in man coverage, and it turns out like that. The Saints have said there is something that you're doing that lets us know, whether it's because of the way this formation is. Obviously, in this formation, most people would suggest that Titans got to go backside here. There's no really entry point for him to block. Hands on knees here, square stance. He could do a number of things, but again, it's just demeanor-wise, it tells a story. But I want you to watch the offensive line. They're just running sideline towards the sideline. Our team doesn't really do that. That's not really how we block. And so, unfortunately, when they see this, you're not getting a lot here. You got nothing on the backside. And so, again, we're in man coverage. We're not getting open. 2nd and 21. It just makes the game that much more difficult, even with, last year's MVP. All right, we talked about it already. Talked about it on the podcast. 82 comes in, and I thought they just did a really good job of getting in front of our defensive ends, giving them a difficult time. They don't have to dominate these blocks because they have Kamara in the backfield. You don't need to dominate your block. You just need to get the guy distracted for a split second, right? Now, Z's one of the best players in the league. He can punch, extend, lock out, and make this play. You want to say like 19 times out of 20, but for whatever reason, I know his back's hurt or whatever, 82 comes in and just gets him inside hand, and now we got the corner. And then again, it's just little stuff, guys. It's not like it's complete domination, but you look at the nuances of how these plays are made, well, it's just little things like that. So now it's another big play in the game. It's 10-0, 4th and 7. You're in that mid-between range. And again, the Saints decide to go for it because this is kind of that area where you just go 41-yard line, 42-yard line, you just go for it. It looks like they're playing man based on how we have lineups here. We got outside leverage here. We're going to funnel in the middle. Outside leverage here. We're going to funnel in the middle where the safety is. We got linebacker chasing running back. So all indications would be the what? We got 4 down guys rushing. We got here playing the tight end. 10 yards off. He's just basically playing at the sticks already. Okay? Great play call, assuming that they're in man coverage. Now, if Alexander gets up closer, does he make that play? If he's on the line of scrimmage, they probably check out of it. It was just a great play call. Sometimes, the coaches are playing chess as well. This, to me, is where you run into a little bit of trouble. So, if I'm back in the day, if you told me my we get to play with a tight end under center, Ahman Green in the backfield, Kamara here. And we're going to give you a 6-man box. Even if we're just going to go, well, we can kind of close our eyes and say that we can count him or not count. This is a 6-man box because their guys are playing 4.5, 5 yards back at the linebacker level. I am going to tell you that we are absolutely 100 out of 100 times going to rush for triple digits. Okay? There's no way. This is a good offensive line. There is no way that if you keep playing with fire, you're not going to get burnt here. Good double team. Kenny Clark tries to play out the backside against Kamara. Watch that again. Right here, we try out to play out the backside of the center. Not great. Again, it's little things that make a difference. Hold your line. Keep your gap. Easy to say, very, very difficult to do. Okay, so it's 4th and goal. It's 10-0. It's kind of been a one-sided game, but I hope that you see the different nuances of specific individuals and specific plays and their technique and how that makes such a difference in the game. It's really what I'm trying to demonstrate here. It's a lot of things we just talked about in the On My Block podcast. So we're 4th and goal. Motion. And this is an interesting play on a number of levels. I mean, obviously, great play by Winston. So 2 things. One, we talked about this before. So they're in man coverage here. And we miss out on any 3. We take 2 to the flat. And it's just, you can see them kind of hesitating right up here on top. Jared grabs his guy. Safety's on the wrong man. Miscommunication. Touchdown. I don't know if we show the end zone copy here. But Rashawn Gary pretty much gets picked by his own man. Here we are. Now, as we watch this, 94 kind of picks Rashawn Gary. Like, one of these 2 guys, one of these 2 players has a free rush if they decide to come. But we decide to take him on. Doesn't take a direct lane to the quarterback. Gary makes a great athletic move and gets his hand on Jameis, but Jameis just is making plays, man. Famous Jameis making plays. So now it's 17-0. That's just a taste of what happens when you miss some opportunities early on, a couple sacks, when the other team's just making plays, when you don't get off the double team to the linebacker, when they shut down your play action pass, your keep pass game, life changes. And now, first play of this series, now we're into drop back, right? And we got we got top 2 quarterback, maybe of all time, playing, but life's a little bit different when you can play man, rush, have your linebacker sit in the middle, have a deep safety, feel really good about yourself. Like, that's a different game than what we're used to, which is playing things out of the run game, play action pass, keep passes, etc. It's just, this is a much more difficult load to haul for the Green Bay Packers offense, especially understanding that, listen, the Saints can get after you. Their defensive line, their linebackers can get after you, and we're starting 2 rookies. We're starting people out of position. We talked about it in the game. Elgton Jenkins is a great player. He's going to be a great left guard, playing left tackle. He's now not at his best, because, Bakhtiari is one of the top guys in the league. He's not at his best, but also now you've put a guy right here's a play, perfect example. So you've now switched and put 62 in, and then this is a linebacker. I think this is Davis. So they run a linebacker end game, and he misses on it, and we got pressure. Right? great play, but again, great quarterback. You still feel pressure. Those things start adding up, and they made a difference later in the game. So, hope that all makes sense. Look beyond the stat line. Look beyond the score sheet and see what's actually happening in the game to make a difference in some of these plays.